Alhamdulillah, countless gratitude to Allah, the Lord of all the creation, that He has bestowed upon us this opportunity and ability to spend the time in His remembrance. Innumerable blessings and peace be upon our beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because of whom Allah's mercy is upon us. My dear and respected audience, Allah says in Quran, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ ثُمَّ تَوَلَّيْتُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ. And when we took a covenant from the children of Israel to not worship any but Allah, and be kind to their parents and their kin and the orphans and the needy, and talk good to people, and establish prayer and give zakah. Then all of you turn your backs away, except for a few amongst you, and you are those who keep on refusing. Leading into this verse, Allah has described various transgressions and disobediences of the Israelites, as how they were given repeated instructions, yet they kept on defying them. How time and again they were punished and pardoned for their sins. Allah is narrating all these incidents to make the whole mankind know the traits and attributes that warrant both Allah's pleasure and displeasure. In this verse, Allah is describing the fundamentals of the guidance, the promise that was presented to the Israelites, and the same promise that holds true today. The first promise that was taken from them was that they will not worship anybody but Allah. There will be no God but Allah. There will be no deity but Allah. This promise the Israelites they made repeatedly. First of all, when Allah created all the souls of all the things, all the human beings that were to be. So when Allah created all those souls, and then He gathered them all, mine, yours, and everybody who has ever been born or who will ever be born. And then Allah gathered them and He asked them, am I not your Lord? And everybody to a man, every soul on that day replied, verily, you are. It is called Ahad al-Alast or Yom al-Alast, the day when everybody testified, all the souls that were to be born. It was way before even Adam was created or anybody else. So that was the first time. The second time for Israelites came when Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam, Jacob alayhi salam, he took an oath from his sons. He gathered them and took an oath from them that they will not worship anybody but Allah. That was the second time for Israelites. The third time was when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he was sent to them, and he saw that all the people in Egypt, they take the Pharaoh as their God. They worship him. They prostrate to him. And he took a covenant from the Israelites that Allah will make you free from his tyranny, from the tyranny of the people of Egypt, from the slavery that they were entrapped into. In return, you promise that you will not worship, you will not obey anybody but Allah. They made that promise. However, once they were freed from that tyranny, from that hardship, from that misery, they turned their back away from that promise as well. Even after seeing the Pharaoh and his army getting drowned into the sea, Abdurrahman amazing. And they were freed from it. Then they saw a group of people who were worshipping idols, and then they asked Hazrat Musa alayhi salam to make an idol for them, an idol of Allah for them, so that they can worship Him. Upon which Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he reprimanded them, reminding them of the covenant that they had made with Allah, and reminded them of all the things that they had seen so far in recent past, how they were freed, how Pharaoh was drowned, as I said. And yet, they want to worship an idol. So the Israelites, they seek Allah's forgiveness and pardon. But yet again, they fell for the enticement of Samri and his magic. They created that calf and started worshipping him. That has already been explained. So they kept on violating that pact, that treaty with Allah time and again, by associating other gods or by associating children with Allah. The next thing that they were told, and we are told consequently in the Quran, is to love, respect, and care for our parents. It was the same commandment for them. It is the same commandment for us. This is because parents are the only individuals who invest in us when we are nothing. Human child is the most difficult of all to raise. For how many years we are dependent purely? Even elephant's child can start eating, I think, in the first month or second. Our child starts eating when they are about a year old. It takes a lot of patience. They say it takes a village to raise a kid, raise a child. It's very true. And the people who are hard at work are the parents. So it is only befitting that they should be dealt with generosity, kindness, and love. Your parents are the only people who do not feel jealous with your success. The more you succeed, the more you excel, the prouder they feel, the happier they are. Everybody else, one time or other, they feel jealous of you. Long time ago, once heard a dialogue in a movie. He said, we found out that if your friend fails in the exam, it hurts you. But if he's the one who topped it, who destroyed everybody else and came first, it hurts even more. And that's pretty true. That's pretty true. Not the case with your parents. I once read, they said that the father is the only one in the creation who wants his son to beat him, who wants his son to be better than him in every aspect. Everybody else wants you to be less than them in one aspect or another. But a father, he wants you to be better than him. The parents, they put themselves before any hardship that is about to come to their children, and in order to save their children. It's not like my father used to say that the love of your child is something that even an animal can feel and have. Even an animal has the love for their child. And it's unconditional. They are not investing. No, they don't even know if they're going to be there by the time you grow up or not. It's just the way Allah has it. They don't do it because it's something special about them. They do it because Allah has put that love and kindness and mercy in their hearts for you. And at the same, Allah wants you to acknowledge it and repay them more than what they have done, even though you can never. But try your best. That's why the word here is ihsan. Ihsan is not tit for tat. It's going above and beyond. One of the companions once asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, who deserves the best of me? And he said, your mother. And he asked, who after that? He said, your mother. He said, and who after that? He said, your mother. He said, who after that? He said, your father. 3 times he replied, your mother, and 4th time he said, your father. It's a wonderful thing if you look at it. For a son, there is nobody that deserves the best of him than his mother. Thrice before his father, and then everybody else can come into the play. When people talk about the equality in man and woman, there is no equality. It's a very balanced structure, but it does not have equality. For the son, the person that you have to do the most, the person that you have to care the most, is your mother, then your mother, then your mother, then your father. So there is 3 times it skews towards the mother, towards the woman, in comparison to the man. And then, for the woman, the person that she needs to please the most beyond everybody else in the world is her husband. Not her father, not her mother, not her children, nobody else, just her husband. Her sole duty is to please her husband. That is where the balance comes into play. She takes care of him, he takes care of his parents. Now everything got jungled up. The woman is happy taking care of everybody else but that person. The man is happy taking care of his wife and his children and not his mother and his father. And that's where all the problems start. We think we are smarter, so we turn things around. It's not the Israelites that do that. It's not only them. They probably invented it, but we excelled it. So we do the same thing. The women, the ladies, they want their husbands to follow them. They want them to treat like they treat their mothers. They want to be in comparison, in competition with them. And the other way around. And the parents, unfortunately, in some societies, they don't want their son to obey them. They want their daughter-in-law to obey them. She has nothing to do with them. That is where things got jungled up and mixed up. Everybody puts his or her foot beyond where they should be. The way Allah has it, he needs to take care of his parents, period. It's his job, his responsibility, not her job. I have seen many people say, oh, I'm going to marry so that she can serve my mother. Why the hell? I mean, she has nothing to do with your mother. It's your job. Yeah, she cannot stop you from serving. She cannot put a hold on, oh, you are only supposed to give this much to your parents. No, there is no such thing. He can do whatever he wants, whatever he must, whatever makes them happy. But he has obligations over there as well. So, very important to keep that balance. The next thing that Allah says in this verse is to treat your kin with love, respect, and dignity. It's very important. The society, the social structure is very important in Islam. Your kin, you do not create them. Allah creates them for you. When you are born, you are given them. You do not choose them. You do not pick them. Sometimes it seems counterintuitive. But then the fact of the matter is, okay, who is wiser here, Allah or you? He chose them for you. He is not saying that, it's not said that your kin will be better than you. That's where we misunderstood things. Allah is not saying that your kin, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, that they will be the best people for you. Allah is not saying that. Allah is saying that you need to treat them with love and dignity and respect. You need to let go of things, let go of their shortcomings. Sila Rahmi. Once, Rasulullah when he told the Sahaba about being kind and doing ihsan and do Sila Rahmi with their kin, one of the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, even if they do bad with us? And Rasulullah said, that is what I'm talking to you about. If they're good to you and you good back to them, you are just tit for tat, going back and forth. This is not what I'm telling you. If you don't do that, you are not even an ethical person. I'm telling you to do good to them when they do bad to you. That is what Islam, when ihsan is. Ihsan is you do good to them. Now, doing good, everybody has a different capacity. Allah is not, it's just, don't hold the scale in your hand. Do not do that. Most of us, many of us, all of us, we do that. Whenever we are to deal with somebody, especially with our relatives, our kin, our brother, sister, we hold a very strict scale in our hand. Oh, she did that to me at that time. He did that to me at that time. That's how he saw me. He did not call me. He did not invite me. All those things. In our society, the best time when people showed their anger towards others is when somebody is dead or somebody is getting married. That's when they open up all those registers and start, oh, I'm not going to come because you did that. Or we're not going to go to their funeral because they did this. This is not what Allah wants you to do. Allah wants you to be better than them. Allah wants everybody to forgive their kins and be better to them even if they do not return the favor. Remember, scale is a very, very tough thing. And I'm talking about the scale on the day of judgment. Whoever does not want his or her deeds to be weighed and counted on the scale, not the weight, the counted on the scale, shall not pick the scale of Allah's creation in this life. Because Rasulullah said, whosoever's deeds start getting counted on the scale, when Allah starts counting them, that person is gone. There is no way he can succeed. He is going to the fire. Or she is going to the fire. Whosoever's books are opened, there will be two the way I understand it. There will be two. One is like, okay, you have your books on one side, you have your books on the other side. One is other upper and lower, and then Allah will put something like, okay, here is this thing, a mountain or whatever. However Allah wants to increase your blessings, and okay, you're gone. Okay, go. That is one. There are some that will be just, the hellfire will just pick them up because there was no way they're going to go there. And then there will be some, when their books will be put on the scale, and then books will be opened. And okay, come on, you did this. Whoever got into that position, Rasulullah said, he is finished. And whosoever does not want to be in that position should not treat Allah's creation the same way in this world. Whenever you let go of anybody's mistake, anybody's injustice towards you, Say, oh Allah, I am letting go of the scale. You let me go on the scale. Do not hold the scale. Please, please, please. Do not hold the scale. Especially with your parents, with your family. Those relations, all these relations, they deserve the best of you. They deserve your kindness. They deserve your forgiveness because Allah has created them for you. Show them kindness. Give them forgiveness. And tell Allah that I'm doing it only for you. I am letting go of the scale. You please let go of my scale. Or let go of me on the scale. The third that Allah is mentioning, whom everybody needs to be nice to, are the orphans. It's hard to imagine anybody in a bitter trial than an orphan. A child whose parents are taken away from him or her. And it's a very, very important aspect of Islamic teaching. Orphans' wealth, his assets, they're safeguarding them, protecting them. It's as equal as safeguarding anything associated with Allah. Eating up an orphan's asset, his money or her money, tricking them purposefully, snatching, stealing from them, it is the worst of the crimes in Islam. Rasulullah ﷺ said, whoever took care of an orphan, one orphan, till his or her adulthood, and they were self-sufficient, that person and I will be on the day of judgment like these. And he joined two of his fingers together, just like this, that he'll be with me. And being with Rasulullah ﷺ on the day of judgment it means being away from all the hardship, getting into the Jannah along with Rasulullah ﷺ. It's the success, the guarantee of success. This is the importance. This is the stature that a person holds when he or she takes care of an orphan. Same thing goes for the poor and the needy, which is the fourth group of people Allah describes in this verse. Because when left alone, their needs, they will force them to commit crimes. They will force them to do things that are harmful to the society. And Allah is making it very, very clear. He's making it compulsory for the humans to take care of the needy in the society. Because doing so creates a harmonious society, harmonious culture, peace. People know that, okay, if there is something bad comes to me, my neighbors, my friends, my relatives, they're going to come to me. Don't feel left alone. They have that fallback plan which saves them from going on the path to evil, from stealing other people, from snatching stuff, from doing all the things that we see happening around us, just because people think that they do not have a fallback option. There was this guy in California last week who killed a couple of people and then killed himself. And his mother said that he was in trouble and he had nobody to turn to. In that condition, he just did what he did. He vented his anxiety on those poor folks that he just killed because they were white or whatever, and then he shot himself dead because there was no way out for him. He was desperate, he was stressed out, and he had no way. He had no trust in anybody, in anything. Not the government, not the people. Nothing, nothing. That's why it's very, very important. A person who eats his fill and his people around him go hungry at night, a person who dresses well and people around him are in the rags, a person who accumulates wealth and people are suffering around him, that is not a human being. It's just an animal in a human skin. Rasulullah ﷺ said, even if a person comes to you on a horse and asks for help, and horse was the symbol of being wealthy, being well off. And even if a person who is apparently, seemingly well off, and comes to you and asks help, do not send him back empty-handed. You may not be able to fill everything, all his desire, but do something, at least something. Please talk to him nicely and gently. Try to help him. Try to reach out. Try to find out a way. Give advice. Something. But don't let that person go back empty-handed. Do something. However meager or little. The next, Allah ordered the Israelites and all of us to talk good to each other. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Talk good to each other. Talk good to people. It does not, some say, it encompasses the whole aspect of human conversation. Talk nicely, gently. Talk good things. Talk to each other about the things that are beneficial to you, that are not harmful to anybody, an innocent person. Not anybody, an innocent person. If you are in a trouble, when you have to deal with somebody, that is a different story. But that is not harmful to any innocent person. Do not backbite. Do not say bad things about each other. Do not curse each other. Do not engage in conversations that bring sins to you, to both of you, to all the people involved in that conversation. Don't do that. Hazrat Muaz bin Jabal Razillah Ta'ala anhu, he narrates that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam once said, keep control of your tongues. Keep them in control. And he said, Ya Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, will we be asked about the things we say? Some things as little as the things that we just say, the words that we utter. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, O Muaz, well be upon you. Nothing or what else will take the people to the hellfire but whatever their tongues have done for them. Whatever our tongue says, this is what will take us to the hellfire or to the paradise. Surah Al-Wasallam said, you gave me guarantee of two things. I'll give you the guarantee of paradise. One which is between your teeth and one which is between your legs. You assure me that you will not use them except for what Allah has permitted and allowed and asked you to do. And I assure you that you will be amongst the people of Jannah. Your tongue is the door to whatever you do or say. You, before doing anything bad, you enter into a conversation about it. So take care. Take care of what you say. Rasulullah ﷺ said that whoever stopped his tongue or put his tongue into the check, Allah has covered his sins. Allah has made, because when we speak, that's when people know who we really are. Up until we speak, nobody knows what's in there. It's like a lid. It's a lid on a pot. Up until somebody opens that lid, nobody knows what's in there. That same goes with our lid is our tongue. When we speak, that's when people know who we are, what's in there. And then there are those who speak what is not in their heart. They make up things, they make up stories. They speak to look nice, look decent, look knowledgeable, look what they really are not. Rasulullah said on the day of judgment, the farthest from me would be the people who will be hypocrites, who will be saying things what they are not, who will be presenting them as the ones who they really are not. The shapeshifters. So we know who will be next to Rasulullah like this, the people who take care of the orphans, and the people who will be farthest from him, the people who present themselves as, oh, we are so good, we are so, and they really are not. Deep in here, they know who they are, but they say nice things to bring people into their trap, to get what they want from them. They talk nicely. It's all a shell. It's all a show they put up to impress people so they can get their way, one way or the other. Worst of the people. And everything is happening with the tongue. And in another hadith, Rasulullah said that even every good thing that you say is a sadaqah. And sadaqah is what pushes the hardships from you away. So how generous, how nice is that? The next thing Allah mentioned in the covenants is took from the Israelites, and which He demands from us as well, He has prescribed upon us as well, is that they will establish salah, the namaz, prayer, and zakat. Rasulullah said that the only thing differentiating between a Muslim and a non-Muslim is salat, is namaz, is the prayer. The 5 daily prayers, those are the only differentiating things between a Muslim and a non-Muslim. Whoever prays 5 times a day is a Muslim. Whoever does not willfully is not a Muslim. Like, apparently, he's not a Muslim does not mean like he is out of Islam, but he does not look like a Muslim. The Sahaba, when they used to encounter a person who did not used to pray 5 times a day, they used to question his Islam. What this person says he is a Muslim, but he does not pray. That was there. And then, good Muslim, bad Muslim, that all those things. Not saying that the person becomes a kafir if you don't pray. But when a person does not pray, his claim of being a Muslim is questionable. There's a difference. Now, some people may ask, why did Allah ask us to pray for 5 times and Israelites for 2 times? And then He described the timings as well, from this time to this time, from this time to this time, from this time to this time. What does Allah have to do with it? Because Allah for sure does not need it. He is beyond all this. Nothing can benefit Him, nothing can harm Him. He does not need anything from us. Why did He say so? Why did He prescribe times and everything? The reason is because most of us, we have the habit of putting things in the afterburner. Oh, I'll do it later, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later. I'll do it that time. Let me take care of this thing, then I'll do it. And then what happens, we all know that. We run out of time. Then Next thing we know, there is no time to do it. We forget, some things keep on coming, things keep on popping up, and we fail to do it. That's why Allah prescribed certain times. That this time to this time you have to do, and this is how much you are going to do. This time to this time you have to do, and this is how much you are going to do. So that we can regulate our lives. We do not deprive ourselves from the benefits of that. Because the only person benefiting from the prayer, from the salat and the namaz is us. And whenever we do salat, namaz, nobody else benefits from that but us. Allah wants us to keep on getting those benefits all along the day. That is why He has prescribed 5 times to us, and He has given us the dose for each time of the day to keep us going. Same goes with the zakat. There is a general command to help the needy and poor. But the same goes there. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm a little tight today. I'll do it today, tomorrow. You know what? I have this money saved for that thing. Let me get some more and then I'll do it. And then you may go to your grave and not have spent anything. So Allah made it compulsory that, okay, whatever you have for a whole year in your savings, in your assets, 2.5% of that you have to give to the needy, to the poor. That is mandatory. So again, you give that zakat so that you be saved from any hardship that is to come to you, and you get those benefits, and then whatever you want to do on top of that, you do it. Rasulullah said that even a tiny act, when done repeatedly and constantly, it weighs more on the scale than a big event or something big that you do here and there, off and on, now and then. And that is how the whole structure is established in Islam. Do small, do it regularly. Everything we purchase here, we give 6.5% of sales tax. 6.5%, everything we get, except for food or certain items, 6.5%. How much is Allah asking you for? Things that you have, assets, not the food, not the house, not your mode of transportation, not your income. And Allah is not asking you for the tax on your income. It's not an income tax. It's a wealth tax. Whatever is beyond your needs, and there is a nisab for everything, which right now we cannot go into. But the fact of the matter, it's not. I know there was one Maulvi Sahib over here. He was a few years back distributing the forms, and he said, okay, this is your salary and this is your zakat would be because you have this salary. It's not. It's not an income tax. It's a withholding tax, you can say. It's a wealth tax. It's not on your income, it's on your savings. Whatever you have that is beyond your need, you had it for a year, then you pay zakat on it. So that you do not deprive yourself by the benefits and the bounties that only come when you give to poor. So Allah has associated different blessings, different benefits with each act. And He wants us to get all of them. So that's why He wants us to do a little on a regular basis, so that we do not be left out of that. That's why the scholars, they put, it was this thought and this philosophy that the scholars, they then prescribed days to do things. Like in our culture where we are from, it's very common that people give alms on Thursdays. On Thursday, they tend to cook something and distribute it to the poor and needy. And some people say, oh, where is it in Islam that you have to do it on Thursday? No, you don't have to do it on Thursday. You have to do it on any day. Okay, make it Monday. Make it Tuesday. The reason the ulama, they said, okay, do it on Thursday, just pick one day. Do a little on that day so it becomes a routine. It becomes an act that you are doing repeatedly, that as Rasulullah said, and you will get a lot of benefit of it when you need it the most. That's why they said that when somebody passes away, they say, okay, you know what, after 3 days you read something for them, after 10 days, after 40 days, and after at least a year, pick a date, pick a day, give alms for them on their behalf, send them something, some good deeds, so that their punishment be reduced and their stature be raised. Rasulullah said that the deceased, they wait for their family to send them things that can relieve them of their punishments, hardships of that life, and make them and increase their stature. So it is giving a little, keep on giving a little regularly, rather than waiting for Big Bang. So in this verse, Allah has outlined the basic principles of a human society, a happy, peaceful human society. Be nice to your parents. Be nice to your kin. And if everybody takes care of their parents, everybody takes care of their kin, there will definitely be nobody who does not have parents or kin. And then if there is somebody, take care of that orphan. And then take care of the needy, the neglected ones in the society. Help them. Help them be becoming a useful member of the society. Help them. Then offer prayer and give zakah. So this is the pact that Allah took from the Israelites, and the same holds true for us. Those who keep this pact, they get blessed in this life and hereafter. And those who don't, they get cursed in this life, cursed upon in this life, and they will get punished in the life after. So the question then becomes, how can we follow these commands? How can we be amongst the blessed ones and avoid following the same path that most Israelites did? So the answer to this question is Nisbat-e-Rasooli, having a true love, unconditional love of Rasulullah is the only way of following the commands of Allah. Because Allah says in Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, مَن يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهَ. Whosoever submitted to the Prophet, only that person submitted to Allah. He is or she is the only one who submitted to Allah. The only way to submit to Allah is to submit to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And submission is not easy. There are two ways you can submit. One is like a slave submits, the slave that is sold. You submit to that person, but you are always working for, hoping for being a free person, that you do not have to submit to that person again. You do not have to follow the orders of that person. That is one aspect of submission. The other aspect of submission is which comes through love. When you love somebody that much that you don't want to go against that person in any aspect of your life. You do things not because you are forced to do so. There is a very, very beautiful, it's called an idiom, maybe not an idiom, not a sentence, proverb in English. If you love someone, let him go. If he comes back, he is yours. If he doesn't, he never was. That is what love is. That you don't leave. And unfortunately, this type of love, if you want to see that, You rarely find it in humans, but you will find a lot in animals. If you have a horse, a sheep, a goat, a cow, whatever, once they start loving you, they start following you. If you look in the YouTube videos, you will find that people play hide and seek with their horses. The way they do, they just hide on their horse, because horses, he wants to be with them, so he seeks them out. That's when we think that they are playing hide and go seek, but that's what they are doing actually. They don't want to stay away from us. They feel safe with us. They feel happy with us. So that is the love, unconditional love, that guarantees that submission. Again, going back to the horses, I once read that there are two schools of thought of training the horse, and they said that one of them, they say, which I like and people like it, is that, okay, establish a trust with your horse, because when the horse trusts you and loves you, if he sees something that he is scared of, he will come to you. He will stay with you because of that love and trust. But if you submit the horse with the power and beating and everything, whenever he will see something that he is more scared of than you, he will run towards that. He will run away from you. He will ditch you and run away. So that is what the Nisbat-e-Rasooli is, that you follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not because you are afraid of hellfire, not because you want to go to the Jannah, not because some always going to come and beat you, because you love Rasulullah. You want to go to Jannah because Rasulullah will be there. That's love. That is Nisbat-e-Rasooli. So now we know how to follow the path, how to get the blessings. The next thing comes is how to keep them. Because whatever you can get, you can also lose. Again, the answer comes for Quran when Allah says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti an-nabi wa la tajharu lahu bil qawli kajahri ba'dikum li ba'd an tahbata a'malukum wa antum la tash'urun. Those of you who believe, do not raise your voices over the voice of Rasulullah, and do not talk to him in that loud and harsh voice that you talk to each other, for it will destroy all your good deeds without you even knowing it. So you earn good deeds by following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you keep them by respecting him through your adab. So, in order to be successful in this life, we must have Nisbat-e-Rasooli. This Nisbat will help us fight the evil and the wrong desires of our own selves. It will keep us, because once you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how can you disrespect him? How can you talk to him in harsh manner, or talk or think bad about him? So it will save us from being disrespectful towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It will save our good deeds. We will keep whatever we have earned. And it is this unconditional love and submission to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that gave his companions the stature that nobody else can achieve. And even amongst the companions, those who came before, who accepted Islam in its early days, the companions who came after them, they could never achieve. They can never achieve. As-sabiqun al-awwalun, they remain supreme. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, at the time of the conquest of Makkah, he and Hazrat Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah radhiyallahu ta'ala, was it Abu Ubaidah? Or Abdurrahman ibn Auf, They got into an argument. And Khalid raised his voice. And they both were Sahaba. And Rasulullah said to Khalid, Khalid, if those who are coming after my Sahaba, they spent the money, the gold to the amount of Uhud mountain, they cannot equal a handful of barley that my companions spent before them. And he was referring to Abdul Rahman and Khalid. Abdul Rahman as the companion. Khalid was also a companion, a Sahabi. But Rasulullah, he was saying Abdul Rahman ibn Auf as his Sahabi. And he's referring to Khalid as the one coming after him. You know, Khalid, even if you spend the gold as much as the mountain of Uhud, as big as that, you cannot even come close to what Abdul Rahman has, a handful of barley that Abdul Rahman has spent. So it was to them, think about us. So no matter if a person goes, if we attain the highest level of piety and morality, we cannot be even as good as the dirt stuck on the hoof of a companion of Rasulullah ﷺ, because their love to Rasulullah ﷺ was unconditional. And it was not, Allah does not do injustice. It is not because they didn't, it is because what they did we cannot, nobody can. The same father that I talked to you about, that Allah has ordained to take care of, the parent, when the same father came to fight Rasulullah ﷺ, Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah radiallahu ta'ala, he cut his head and bring it to Rasulullah ﷺ. He killed his own father. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he embraced Islam, his mother said, she went on a hunger strike. She said, I'm not going to eat anything, I'm not going to drink anything, I'm going to die of starvation. And then the people for the rest of your life will curse you that this is the person whose arrogance took his mother's life. And what did he say? He said, oh mother, you are only one. There is only one of you. Had there been 100 of you, and all of you would have starved one after the other, I would not have left Rasulullah. These were the trials and tribulations that the Sahaba had to go through, that they proved their love, their nisbat to Rasulullah, and that made them who they are. Glowing stars in the sky of the guidance, showing us path. The Sa'd bin Waqqas, Abu Waqqas, he is the only one that Rasulullah said, Fida Abi wa Ummi. He is the only one that he combined both his parents. And then there were people who came after, who got into power, and they tried to strong arm these people. Muawiyah, he asked him, why don't you curse Ali? He said, why would I curse Ali? I know 3 things about Ali, that if I would have had any of them, it would have been dearer to me than the world, everything the world has and before. So because Rasulullah, he married his daughter to Ali. On the day of Khaybar, he gave his flag to Ali. And I believe the third one because Ali is the father of his grandsons, one of them. So, these things were not easy. The Sahaba were Sahaba because they gave everything. They had the courage to say to the king of the time that I am not going to do something to please you because this is not what Rasulullah would have liked. And I love this person because Rasulullah loved him at that time, and at that time. And then he said, okay, then you just curse him by saying Abu Turab. And Abu Turab was the title given to Ali Karamallah Wajhu by Rasulullah. He said, why would I do that? This was the name that was most dearer to that was the dearest to Ali. He loved being called Abu Turab more than being called Ali because it reminded him of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started calling me that. He gave me that name. So these were, that is why they were where they were. Their status was high because they had to go through so many trials and tribulations. Now we all come here with different worries and ailments, with different desires, with different hardships. Everybody has his or her own challenge. The solution to all our problems is Nisbat-e-Rasooli. The love of Rasulullah, when we follow him, when we do what he did, then all the trials, all the tribulations, all the ailments, everything will get solved and resolved. And our life will be peaceful. Remember, we are in this world for an extremely short period of time. Our real life awaits us behind the veil of death. That is when we are going to live forever. This is just a trailer. The real movie is to start. And the only criteria of success is having a peaceful soul in this world and in next world. And there is no peace without submitting to Rasulullah, without loving Rasulullah, without having that unconditional true love with him. Because when you love Rasulullah, when you follow him, مَن يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهَ, then you obey and follow Allah. And following Allah, obeying the path of Allah, obeying Allah is the only criteria of success in both the worlds. And this nisbat, this love, can only stay and come into a clean and pure heart. And the only way to make our hearts clean and pure is by remembering Allah. And that remembrance is the only reason we gather here, so that we remember Allah, and through His mercy, our hearts become clean and pure. We recognize the importance of the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We earn this love, we keep this love, and we go from this world a happy and successful man. Now with this desire, with this goal, and with this intention, let's all start. Say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Kalma Tawheed, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah.